Hello, I'm Nathaniel, founder of Black Forest Mushrooms, and we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Come on. First things first, we need to get a mushroom brush to clean our wild mushrooms. We're also gonna get some Synergy, some cordyceps dark chocolate, lion's mane mushroom jerky, and of course, blue oyster jerky. We'll grab some brainwash from our friends in Seattle at Wonderground coffee, and maybe a little extra coffee, and let's be honest, I'm from Seattle, we're gonna get more coffee. We'll grab some Girl Meets Dirt jam, local pasta. So we've got our San Juan salt. Today I'm gonna be using our truffle salt, our lion's mane creamed honey, and our lion's mane powder. And we're gonna go ahead and pack up some mushrooms. Okay, let's head to the kitchen. All right, we're here in the kitchen getting ready for Fungi Thanksgiving. So let's get to work, but before we do, we always need a little bit of mushroom energy. Let's go. So we've got our crate of fresh mushrooms here. So some of them are hyper-local mushrooms. Those are blue oyster and lion's mane. Those are the mushrooms that we grow in our 10,000 square foot indoor controlled environment farm, right in the heart of Everett, Washington. Now, we also have a team of wild foragers that go all over the Pacific Northwest to be able to get wild mushrooms. Now, wild mushrooms, because they are out in the wild, we do need to clean them. So we get rid of the pine needles and make sure there's no bugs hiding anywhere. So we're gonna get started on how to clean your mushrooms. All right, so this is our wild chanterelle. And as you can see, we've got quite a bit of dirt and debris in there. A lot of people don't really like that when they're cooking, so we'll go and brush that out and clean it up. We also have our matsutake, and these ones actually create what's called a mushroom mound. And the mushroom mound is typically at the base of trees or wherever they're growing. They come up and they barely come out of the ground. So there are gonna be a lot more dirt and pine needles on these ones, but these ones are just truly incredible. The way that I can explain it is almost like a spicy pine, but very, very potent flavor and potent scent. So it's really great for fried rice. So a grade 1 matsutake is actually gonna have a veil that is unbroken, like you can see there. Versus here, the veil has been broken and it's opened up a little bit more. So people that want fresh grade 1 matsutake are gonna be looking for something closer to this. These are our fresh, hyper-local blue oyster mushrooms. We grow them in our 10,000 square foot indoor controlled environment farm. Even though they were just harvested a few hours ago, you can already see that they're starting to crack. That just goes to show how tender they really are and how truly fragile they are. This is why it's really important to get your mushrooms as fresh as possible from your local mushroom farm. So you see how that little spot came off now with just a little bit of a damp run. We're done cleaning our mushrooms, so let's go ahead and get them chopped up and processed and ready to cook. What I like to be able to do with the blue oyster is, since they come in these nice little bundles, I will actually just first cut off the bottom there. Oh, looks like we got a little straggler. And then this is really good for your compost. And then depending on the meal that you're doing, like sometimes you can take little bundles of these, batter them up, and make like a fried mushroom out of them. But today we're gonna do a saute on them. So we're gonna go ahead and just get these cut up longwise here. You can use the whole thing, stem and all is totally fine. Some of these smaller ones you don't necessarily need to, they're small enough. The baby shiitake here, these are really great because they're really small. They're already kind of in like bite-sized pieces. So typically with the baby shiitake, I actually just leave them just like this to be able to throw right into the pan. Whereas some of these larger ones, you do want to cut them down. So we have chopped our blue oyster, our chanterelles. We've got our baby shiitake. They're already ready to throw right into the pan. Now lion's mane is going to be a little bit different. So if you actually get nice and close here, you can actually see that this is going to be really stringy. And so there's a couple different things that you can do with lion's mane. So you can chop it up and throw it into a saute like we are today. But another thing that you can do is, since it is really stringy, you can actually pull it right apart. You can make a pulled lion's mane sandwich, kind of like a pulled pork, but you can also take it, string it up, and make crab cakes out of it. Before we can cook our mushrooms, we need to be able to pick our pan. Now, to be perfectly clear, Any one of these types of pans are gonna work just well for you, but there's a few things that you need to consider. So if you are gonna use one of these deeper dish pans, then what you're gonna wanna do is make sure to not overstack it. Because there's a lot of depth here, you can overstack your mushrooms. They're not gonna have a chance to breathe while you're cooking them, and that's really gonna impact that texture. And that's why most people think that mushrooms are gross and slimy. However, a lot of times people aren't cooking them right. This is a non-stick pan, and this is perfectly fine. You can always use this. However, I personally prefer the stainless steel. It's just gonna get a better heat distribution. I personally like cooking with this a little bit better for cooking all of my mushrooms. We've got our Alfredo sauce going. We've got our water that is gonna come to a boil. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get our mushroom base started. If you wanna be a mushroom master chef, then these are the things that you need to do to be able to cook the perfect mushroom. We're gonna start here with our stainless steel pan. We'll go ahead and turn the heat on, and we're gonna go with a pretty high heat, more than medium, less than high, maybe a medium high. We're gonna not put any butter and no oil in the pan. We're gonna keep it a nice dry heat. And we're gonna heat this up until we can feel the heat radiating throughout the pan. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our mushrooms into the pan. And this allows the mushrooms to excrete all of that excess moisture before adding in your butter, your oil, or your favorite seasonings. So we just put our mushrooms in the pan, and if you come a little closer here, you can actually hear it already sizzling. That's just how much moisture is in there. So what you're gonna wanna do, again, no butter, no oil, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of keep these moving. What we're doing is we're getting the moisture out of it, so you do wanna keep them moving. We're just getting the last bit of moisture out. And so far, again, this is a high heat, no butter, no oil. That's just having the fresh chopped mushrooms going straight into the hot pan. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a nice high quality butter or oil. In this case, we're just gonna use a little bit of avocado oil and spray that in there. Now again, we're doing this once we've already dry cooked our mushrooms. And this is where we're gonna start opening up that flavor. We're gonna do a little bit of garlic. And we're doing this at the end. So there's our garlic. Truffle salt from San Juan Island sea salt. So this is just gonna be a little bit of our finishing salt here. So, that's fantastic. Too bad you don't have smell-o-vision. So our pan may be nice and seasoned there. However, our mushrooms are perfectly cooked. As it goes everywhere. All right. Cool, we're gonna dig in. But this is a nice quick mushroom forward dish. Just mushroom pasta and just a medley of mushrooms. I always love the balance of the fresh mushrooms, that nice earthy umami flavor. You don't have waterlogged mushrooms because we got all that moisture out. Flavors really are a lot more forward, especially with that truffle salt and fresh wild mushrooms. Great pasta. Thanks for joining me on How to Cook Your Mushrooms Thanksgiving Edition. If you liked this recipe or you're just interested on how to cook mushrooms, go to blackforestmushrooms.com and click on recipes. And if you're just as fungi fanatic as we are, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.